straight off the bye week, and we have a home game against San Diego State. It's the 5th episode in this series, and we're going to try a couple new things. We messed around with this big dog for a quarter and even a last-second low shutter shot. So let's see how we did. For warm-ups, the wide receivers always have interesting routines involving either one-handed catches or having unparalleled drip. Since it's a 1:30 p.m. kick and the brightest part of the day, thought I'd crank my shutter to see what kind of action I could capture. First shot of the day. Not a wide receiver, but come on, coach, throw him a slant. Gonna have to take the entire secondary to drag Jaden down. I don't know what to say other than these guys are just freaky athletic. Silhouettes with Oakleys. Something I didn't know I needed till just now. Had to spin back for another shot. Now, usually this is a time where I recite the 11th commandment, thou must get QB1 in pads. However, I spent that portion of the warm-up preparing for this next shot. It's called low shutter. Usually you want a high shutter so you can freeze the action. The inverse of that is a low shutter where the action becomes blurry. My favorite iterations of low shutter come when the subject is in focus and there is movement around it. So for the run out and our quest to find the best possible location to shoot it, that's what I wanted to try. I want to keep the statue in focus with the players creating that colorful motion around it. And to get technical, I had to stack ND filters for this. ND filters are like sunglasses for your camera. Since it was so bright and I needed a low shutter, it was the only possible way. I only had one shot at this, so I just started spraying and praying. For my first attempt at this, I think it turned out nicely. What do you think? Straight after the run out, I ran back to my office to exchange lenses. I switched over the big dog, Tamron 150 to 500. This is a daylight lens and I have only used it 2 times prior to today. Since it's our last day game of the year, I thought it'd be a good idea to get some athletes that I'm not able to reach on the opposite side of the field with a 70 to 200. This is an idea of how far we can get. Then, of course, when I switch to the long lens, the action comes right after. I was lucky even with the long lens at close distance to be able to capture that celebration. On the defensive side, another celebration. Linemen are hard to get action photos of without a long lens. So I tried to get everybody at least one of themselves. I ended up spending the rest of the first half just trying to get our guys some photos. These are some example ones, but I try to get at least one of every kid on both sides of the ball. Put the big dog back in its cage and reunited with the white mamba. I was trying to get pictures of Ethan all day. I loved his face paint. And his tattoo. These videos mostly highlight what I do right, but what's really hard when shooting football is anticipating chunk plays.
How these teams have started the year, they would certainly take that. Svoboda, big crease, Evans Svoboda, no one in front, touchdown Cowboys!
50 yards to the crib, and I didn't get a single shot. There were just a ton of people in my way, and they're celebrating with the fans with their backs towards me. A reminder that you're never going to be able to get every single shot on a football field, so don't beat yourself up about it. I at least tried to make up for it by getting a picture of Evan afterwards, but it still doesn't seal the cracks in my heart. I think Coach was cracking some inside jokes here. It may not look like it on his face, but look at the boys after he got up and left. No one ever includes me. One thing is for certain, Braden Siders is always making plays. I feel like I've gotten the same shot every single week. Never can forget the post-pick LeBron level handshake. No, I gotta get Coach Hollinsworth on that dap up. Last shot of the day right here, and it reminds me of the 21 Savage meme.
He's just always in his own world.
It was competitive the entire game, however, we ended up dropping to San Diego State late in the fourth. We had two huge chunk plays that game, which is always hard for me to cover because usually when the ball's in the middle of the field, that's when I'm around the bench area trying to get portraits. The silver lining is that this is our last day game of the year because I am definitely more of a night shooter. Like and subscribe if you learned something from this video. Drop a comment down below what the best picture of the day was. Until next time.